Whenever I share this on Instagram, I get tons of questions if you can download it or if you can buy it. This is highly customizable. I stink at making editable products, so I don't know how to make one that you guys can edit, so instead I'm going to teach you how to do it. That's much easier for me. Before we do this, I always hand draw. It's upside down. I always hand draw my list, and so this helps me know exactly what I need to get done for the month. And if you want to know how I plan for the month, be sure to check out the podcast that you're going to hear me talk about in just a minute. So I'm going to show you how to make this. As I open it, like I just said, I am putting part of this into a podcast as well. So right now, you're going to hear me welcome the podcast people in. So if you're like, what's going on? I'm posting the entire thing as a video and just part of it as audio on a podcast. So I'm going to welcome the podcast people right now. Hi, and welcome to my tutorial. This is an audio version that you're listening to, but if you'd benefit from the video version, I will have details on how you can view that in the show notes of the podcast. So I make absolutely everything in PowerPoint. That's what this presentation is going to show you guys. And so what I do in PowerPoint, because I want to make sure my to-do list fills a full piece of paper, I always start by opening up PowerPoint, going to design. And then on the right side of design, you're going to see something called slide size. Go ahead and select on that and page setup. Now to make my document be portrait or vertical, it's going to be 8.5 width and 11 height. So that's for an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. If I wanted it to be horizontal, it'd be 11 width and 8.5 height. It just depends on your style. Once I have that set, I can say okay. Very first thing I need to do is put my title in. So I always use the month name and then get it all done and still have fun. Right now, for February, if you're curious, the fonts I like to use, I love Babbling Abbey font. So I always have my month in the Babbling Camille font. And this one is actually 34 font size. And then get it all done and still have fun is Babbling Stacy and a font size of 28. Now, when I go to do March is obviously much smaller than February, so the first part will be smaller and I'll have to make the second part longer to fill out the entire screen, but maybe you don't need a title across your entire to-do list. The whole point is that this is very customized to what you want. So I have already hand drawn what I want my list to look like. I know in the top left corner I wanted to say podcast, so I've done that here. If you don't know how I got that there, I'm going to do insert a text box. I can draw it, I can type, I can change the font and the size. So my headers are usually about 40 font size, and then I'm using a table tool for the first section. I like to do bullets if I know exactly what I'm doing. So for example, when we go to tab, put in the seasonal packs, I already have my 4 topics planned. So I'll put a bullet so I can check off when I do each topic. For podcasts, because I don't have my 4 podcasts for February planned out yet, I'm instead just going to have 4 little boxes. And every time I put out a podcast, I can color a box in. In order to make the boxes, this is a table tool. So I'm going to go to Insert, Table, and then my tables are 1x4. And then I just like to size them so they fit about half of the page because I want the other half of the page free to put something else. And if you're curious how I get them to go from looking like this blue one that you originally get to the black border, white inside, you just highlight the whole thing. You'll come over when you're still in your table tool. You'll add all of your borders, and for shading, you're going to do no fill. And now you have boxes that you can color in. So I have one for podcast. I know right underneath that, I want to have another one for email. So I'm actually just going to copy and paste, drag it down, and I can make that say email. So now I have my first 2 things on my monthly to-do list. The next thing is the seasonal packs I was just telling you about. Now I know my 4 topics for my seasonal packs, so I'm going to use a bullet feature instead. To do my bullets, I'm going to do insert text box. I'm going to start off by writing Valentine's Day because that's going to be the first seasonal pack. I'm going to come back and use Babbling Stacy again for my font. And that was the same one I was using at the top. And then I'm going to do bullets. I'm going to highlight Valentine's Day right here. I'm going to choose bullets, open bullets. And then I want to make that font a little bit bigger because I want it to be the entire length of the header. So there's my first bullet. Now I'm going to add my next one. So I'm just going to do return. Dental health is my second topic. Construction workers is my third. And an animal pack, TBD, the theme. Animal theme is last. Now I don't want construction workers to be on 2 lines. So I'm going to pull the text box out until it goes up on the top line. My next topic is going to be leftover January. I'm going to drag that down here. Prom, social skills, winter math pack, and the clothing story pack. Those are things that I wanted to do in January and didn't have a chance to get to. I'm going to duplicate again because we're going to do new February. And for February, what I need to get done is the Valentine math pack. I also want to get done the February story pack. And I want to get done the bathroom skills story pack. So I want all this to go on the left-hand side, but as we can see, I don't have room for it. So this is where I'll come back and I'll kind of just move the boxes around. And this is why I really prefer to do it in PowerPoint, is it's a lot easier to do this. So we're gonna see if I just drag everything up nice and tight, will that make enough room to fit the last section? If not, we'll play around with font size. For now, let's move all of that up. Bring new February down. Look at that, perfect fit. All right, so now we're gonna move to the other side. I wanna do 5 content packs. So now I can just duplicate that title, pull it over to the top right side and say content pack. I'm gonna duplicate these bullets, pull them over, and now I can lay out what I wanna do. I wanna make the electricity unit. Sure, I spelled that wrong. There we go. Telling time, goods and services, famous Americans, and emotion words. All right. I want to do a set of 4 boxes again like this. So I'm going to copy and paste the podcast ones, drag it over. I'm going to say ABA supervision. Extend that title so it's all on one line. Perfect. I want to read 8 books or 8 chapters out of the Cooper book. I'm going to make these a little bit smaller. My boxes actually don't need to be that big, and that's going to buy me some more room. No, I want to read 8 chapters from the Cooper book, and that is related to my studying for BCBA, if you don't know what that means. 8 Cooper chapters. I'm going to make that a little bit smaller so it fits into that space. There we go. I also want to work out 8 times, and then I want to bring down this one again, and I want to go on 4 dates with my husband. Now I'm having a little bit of a problem now because I actually have one more thing I want to add to the bottom of each one. So first we said we were going to make these boxes smaller, so that makes it a little bit easier. That'll buy me some room, at least on the left side. I'm going to drag all of that up. What I already know I'm going to need to do is make this font smaller, so I'm going to go ahead and do it now. Let's see if I just make all of it 24 instead of 28. I can still read it, but it's not taking up as much room. That's good. Let me pull up new February. There we go. So I can duplicate this email box and the 4 check boxes. And down here, I can write read 4 books. Perfect. And then on this side, I'm going to do the same thing. Instead of 28, I'm going to make it 24. So now I can pull ABA supervision up. In that box, reading the 8 Cooper chapters in those boxes. Work out 8 times. And those boxes go on 4 dates with Corey. Those boxes. And the last thing is going to be 4 easy prep skill binders. Problem is that's still not fitting. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make these headers a little bit smaller as well. I have them 40. I'm going to take them down to 36. And what's really important to me is that everything is symmetrical. So if I make one title 36, I want all of the titles to be 36. So it all looks the same. So that buys me a little bit of room. Again, I can pull up these bullets. I can pull up ABA supervision in those boxes, 8 Cooper chapters, in these boxes, work out 8 times, these boxes, 4 dates with Corey, these boxes, and 4 easy prep skill binders. I'm going to make that font just a little bit smaller. That's the only time that I let it get a little bit off is if I'm trying to fit lengthwise. There we go. Now I can fit. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and just call it 4 skill binders so I can say 36. All right. So I now, on this left side, going to do the same thing because I actually have just a little bit more I would like to add if I have room. I think I'll be able to buy myself some room. I'll drag all of this up. All right, and it was here in New February that I wanted to add. So let's see. Oh, actually, no, it was another set like this I wanted to add. All right, so we got to make this fit. I want to pull the books down a little bit. And I want to pull this down. I pull this back up. And as you see, this is again why I like using PowerPoint. It's a lot easier for me to manipulate these boxes to fit everything I want on in there. There we go. And here was variety games. All right. And there you have it. There is my to-do list for February. Now to make this fun, I'm going to print it out on pink paper. This will keep me highly motivated. I love checking it off at the end of every week to see my progress. And I hope this tutorial helped you show you how you can make this for yourself. Reach out if you have any questions. If you'd like more tutorials in the future, let me know. And let me know what you'd want the tutorials to be on. So again, I hope this was helpful and I will catch you guys in hopefully my next tutorial.